Hi everyone, let's talk about On the Underground, which again is on Kickstarter right now. Link in the description to the campaign page will tell you all of the final stuff. Remember, it's a prototype. So, what do we think of it? I really, really like this. I hadn't heard of it before. It's from 2006, the original game. I hadn't really heard about it, and certainly not had played it. So, yeah, I think this is such a great, I don't want to say simple as in like it's a really, really basic gateway game, because it's got more going than that, but it's such a simple set of rules that all you're doing on your turn, you've got 4 actions. You either get a branch token or you put some track down somewhere, and there are a few rules about how you can lay track down. But it's the theme for a start, building the underground up, is such an effective theme because, you know, with all of the various player colours and stuff, you are effectively making your own version of the iconic London Underground map, and that is really, really nice. And it works with there's a Berlin side as well that you are growing the routes for too. It's brilliant seeing that form, and it's nice in other games as well. It's nice in Ticket to Ride as you're seeing all of the trains and stuff laid out, but I think it's really, really effective here, maybe because of just how familiar I am with that London Underground map. Not the London Underground itself. I've been on that a few times. Anyway, so I like the way it handles player counts, in that you have different numbers of lines to worry about, so that the map will effectively be populated by, probably the same amount of tracks depending on the player count, because you will have 4 tracks, 2 with 20, 2 with 15 pieces in a 2-player game. You have 4 each to do on your turn. You don't get any more actions. You just have to, you've got the choice of which of your 4 lines you want to lay down. I do think that in our experience, and our limited experience, this came a little bit last minute, we found that we've only played it 2 players, found that we really, really enjoy it for, most of the game, and then just towards the end it starts to get a little bit repetitive and drag a little bit. But at the same time, I recognise that I don't feel like I can really point to anything that could change about the game. You would have to, because if you just remove X numbers of cards from the deck, you've introduced a load of randomness into which stations are going to come out and which aren't, which would annoy me a lot more. Maybe you would need to shrink the map in some way and then remove some of the cards from the outside. But yeah, loads of stuff would need to change for that. But yeah, I don't think, even though you would have the same number of turns, and I think the game would last just as long at other player counts, I feel like with other people taking the turns and the game state kind of changing in between them, it would be better. Not to say that it was a bad experience, because we really enjoyed it. I especially like how the passenger moves as well. It's nice having the different ways that your trains score, that you are trying to get, you're connecting up the national rail lines, you are connecting up the green tokens, matching the symbols on those for a load of points. You can get to the terminus stations, which is attractive because you also get a branch token as well as some points, and forming loops as well that might just happen anyway and is a nice little bonus. It can never be that many points unless you manage to get the loop around the whole centre of the London map. But yeah, you have nice things for how your tracks are building, and you're thinking of that as well. You're thinking of building towards these symbols on there, but the main thing is thinking of the passenger. And that for us, maybe we're just really slow players, by the way. It's where a lot of the time was spent of working out, okay, he's going to go there because he's going to go to, based on how the cards are going to come out, assuming there's an express card and a normal card, he's going to go to the nearest express station and the nearest normal station. And so you need to work out, at the start of your turn, where is the passenger going to go? Whose lines is he going to be using? And how can I change that? And should I change that? Is it worth spending my actions trying to change this to get 1 extra point out of it, when I could be doing something different to build myself up for the future, trying to take control of a certain area of the map so that when those cards come out, I'm going to reap all of the rewards from that. There's that you're thinking of, but it's not just as simple as thinking of where the passenger is going to go, because you can change that. You can influence the passenger's decision by giving him a better route, really. The passenger will always try and walk as little as possible, so that if you can make it so that a station doesn't require any walking all of a sudden, he'll go there. And towards the end of the game, it does get snappier as the passenger's kind of already made his decision, and you haven't got enough actions to influence his decision anymore, because lines are already in place and you see your work paying off towards the end of the game. That's really nice as well. I just think that the way that the passenger works is brilliant. The way that the map, in any game where you're laying tiles, or in this case laying track, the way it looks at the end is a really nice portion of the game, and it's really beautiful here. The way the map that you end up making, having the passenger in there where you can see where he's going, you can work all of this stuff out, and then you can work to influence it to your advantage, is a part I really, really love. But at the same time, and maybe this is just us being quite slow, it did end up making the game take a little bit longer than we'd like. That's our only negative takeaway, because other than that, really, really enjoyed this. As I said, it's such an elegant, simple system of just mainly your turn is lay some tracks, but there is so much space in that decision. There are so many different ways that you can go down. And yeah, this could be as well. If you wanted to play it like that and it's your thing, you could play it, like a really aggressive game and be trying to block other people out of different areas. The rules do say, don't necessarily start your lines out on the outskirts of a map, because you can very, very easily find yourself locked out onto those edges and be out of luck. It's probably a game where with four players and the map changing quite a lot in between your turns, you could find that really easily happening. If you're playing with really experienced players and maybe you don't know that, the rules do remind you though. I could imagine that maybe you could get yourself locked out and there is no way of catching up. But generally, we didn't find that in our 2-player experience, and yeah, the playthrough is there. That's going to give you more of an idea than any of this ever could. So the playthrough, go and watch the playthrough if you haven't seen it, or if you have seen it, there's hundreds of other playthroughs, or the Kickstarter page, of course. You know your options though, don't you? You don't need me to tell you what to do. I'm going to go film some more now. Bye, everyone.